Here we are. It's not even been that long since I had a regular job working in a school. I was a science teacher in a school and I really liked it. I liked a lot of what I did, but I was never able to take a lunchtime walk by the river in Portugal. That just was never an option. It wasn't going to be an option. It doesn't work with that kind of a job. So, why am I out for a walk today? Well, it is the middle of the day on a Thursday. I do have some work to do, but I can decide where and when I want to do that work. And that's the beauty of selling websites. So I used to code. That was the first taste of digital nomad lifestyle. Being able to travel to Brazil. I lived in Argentina. I lived in Ireland, loads of different places. But I quickly realized that you're still kind of chained to the desk in a sense when you're freelance coding. You're still working for somebody, a client you have to answer to. You have to work to their clock. But when you get into selling your own website, you can sell it and then do what you want the rest of the time. So fortunately today I was able to sell a website and now I'm able to enjoy a nice lunchtime walk around Porto. So hopefully the camera work's not too shaky and that the audio is pretty decent. But you know, learning to run your own business and pick your own hours gives you so much freedom to do what you want. So how does it work? Do you just learn to code and then start selling websites immediately? Is that going to be enough to make a living? So as most of you know, I started off learning to code and that was the big thing. Why did I change my focus, or what's the difference? Well, the difference is if you're coding and you're working for a company, you're still working for that company and you're spending however many hours. Maybe you're getting paid hourly, maybe it's a really good rate of pay. But for me, I realized quite quickly that I was able to sell a website that wasn't coded a lot faster than I was able to earn that money by coding per hour. Was learning to code a total waste of time for me? Absolutely not. So a lot of the skills that I learned from coding have paid massive dividends since I've kind of left coding in the background. I use something called Framer and it took me a very short space of time to learn it. If you already know how to code, it's a really good tool to learn, because you're able to put together websites that are really well optimized, really fast, really well animated, extremely quickly. And what you're going to realize as soon as you start freelancing with code is somebody's going to ask you, hey, can you build me a website? And you're going to think, oh yeah, that's going to take a long time because I'm using React, Next.js, I'm using Tailwind CSS, and it's better and it's faster and it's going to run faster. But really, the amount of changes and maintenance and stuff that a basic website's going to need is way beyond. It's not worth it to make it from scratch, basically. And when you start to realize that you can make things an awful lot faster using low-code tools, you start to think about coding in a completely different way. You write as much code as is needed, and you use tools that do the coding for you as much as possible. Do I write code at all anymore? Yes, I make custom components for Framer. Anytime there's a need that's not fulfilled by the Framer build tool, I can just code stuff from scratch because it's basically React. Okay, so my main focus these days is on helping clients make more money. I don't really care about whether that is through coding or through using low-code tools. As well, when it comes to custom coding things for Framer, if something is cheaper to just buy, I will buy it instead of coding it myself. It's a waste of time, okay? To businesses, time is money. And the less time we can spend on implementing a feature for them, the better. And this is the other thing when it comes to learning to code. I ran into this issue where I was working so hard to learn everything for coding just to start freelancing at a low rate, essentially. Over time, it did pay off, and it is worth it if it's something that you want to do. But you can start freelancing and selling websites in 21 days if you really want to. And you're not going to be able to do that by learning to code. You have to use a different tool. Now, you can use something like WordPress, which is super, super popular with loads of plugins, and it allows you to do all different things that you might want to do. However, people are moving away from WordPress and towards things like Webflow or Framer. Now, I use Framer. Obviously, it's my favorite tool. It's the one that I've been using the whole time. And I can teach you Framer in 21 days, guaranteed, and you can start selling websites immediately. So I not only teach you how to build using Framer from completely nothing, but I also show you how to sell the websites, which is honestly one of the hardest parts of this game. But it's completely worth it, because look at me. I'm just walking around in the middle of the day on a Thursday, and I'm not worried about paying rent. I'm really not. So if you are sick and tired of the job that you currently have, and you want to be able to go on random walks on a Thursday afternoon and not worry about paying rent, consider joining the Framer course. The link is going to be down below. I highly recommend it. We've had successful candidates already who are, after transforming their lives from being employees or workers to now having complete freedom of how much work they do, where they do it, and where they live. So if you want to run your own business, check it out. It's definitely the cheapest and easiest way to do it. Now, I know a lot of people watching this are going to be thinking, oh, so if I learn how to build and sell websites, does that mean I'm going to be rich? No, it doesn't. It absolutely doesn't. It's still hard work. It's hard to sell websites. It's difficult to make them. You have to be creative. You have to be always growing and learning. So if you're somebody that does not like to work hard, don't like to talk to people, you can't handle days where you're making less money and days where you're making more money, if you're not ambitious, don't do it, okay? Do not do it. It's a waste of time. You're going to join a course, you're going to finish it if you bother at all, and you're going to make no money with it. But if you actually want to make this your lifestyle, if you're determined, if you have 3 months of time where you're deciding, okay, I'm going to go traveling, I'm going to be building and selling websites, and this is what I want to do with my life, go for it. Like, you're not going to regret it at all. I've completely changed my life from learning how to run a business. So I highly recommend it.